Amy K YouTube Live, and today I am going to show you how I made a birthday card with the Frosted Forest stamp set bundle. I'm going to scoot the camera down here just a little bit, which is one of the new bundles from the upcoming online exclusives. And so this one is actually available for demonstrators to pre-order right now. So if you're a demonstrator, you can get your hands on this beautiful product bundle. And if you are not currently a demonstrator, you can join and get your hands on it early. Or customers will be able to order it beginning on July 3rd. So again, it's available for demonstrators to pre-order now, and customers can get it in just, I don't know, about a month. So hey, Marilyn, thanks for hopping in. You got your bundle today? Good, good. It's a good one. So, and I see Jeanette and Karen are here as well. So this is the card we're going to be making. It's actually pretty simple. Just a little bit of stamping, a little bit of using the blending brushes to add some color to the background and to the trees, and a little designer paper, and it's done. So, hey, Judy and Marilyn and Judy and Linda and Carol and Melanie and Sally, everybody's hopping in right now to come and say hello. So I appreciate y'all being here and spending some of your day with me. So this is the Frosted Forest stamp set. Again, this is one of the new online exclusives. It is not going to be in a catalog anywhere from Stampin' Up. It is going to be in the online store only. Meaning that anyone can order it, but you just won't see it in a catalog, that's all. So it is a bundle. You can order the pieces individually, obviously, as well. So the bundle comes with the Frosted Forest stamp set, which is photopolymer. Got some nice sentiments in it, some pretty tree images in it, and a sweet little bird. And then we have got the die set, which has got, we're going to be using this outline tree die that will cut out your stamp tree. The outline dies here, excuse me, we'll cut out your stamped evergreen trees. And then there are little inner pieces that you can use to layer over the top if you want to do that. This actually is designed to be part of the greenery for this tree. So this, you can die cut that. If you don't want to stamp the tree, you can die cut it instead. And then we have, oh, now of course I can't get my, there we go. And then we have this one. And I'm still not on the right sheet the right way. Then we have this one, which cuts like a little edging a border with some trees in it. So it's a great die set. But don't, there's more. This is the Frosted Forest decorative masks, and they are actually included in the bundle when you order it together. So you'll get the masks, you'll get the die set, and you'll get the stamp set when you order the bundle. Otherwise, again, each of these items is going to be available individually as well if you don't want them all. So these are the masks that we'll be using today, and I'll explain how those work. There are also masks for the 2 evergreen trees in the stamp set as well. I didn't do masking on those today, but I'm sure we will at some point between now and Christmas. There's lots of time to use them. So anyhow, so these are the masks. Oops, I got this one in here upside down already. So these are the masks that we're going to be playing with today. Let me set a few things aside here. So trying to find a little space where I don't have something piled up already. Then we've got the Tune In stamp set that I actually only used for the sentiment on the inside of the card. Just because I wanted it to have a nice happy birthday, kind of a larger happy birthday sentiment. And this one I thought was perfect. One other thing that I did use is the mini pocket envelope dies, and I actually only used this little scalloped die right here to die cut my sentiment. So that is all that I used off of this die. There are lots of dies that fit this one, but this one I thought fit it kind of nicely and it was the size I wanted it to be for my card front. So again, there are lots of dies you can use to cut out the sentiments in here. You don't have to have that one, but that one I thought fit well with what I wanted to do with it. Again, Frosted Forest. So there we go. A couple of things before I get started here. Stampin' Up! Is running from June 5th, which has already gone by, through the end of June. So we can just say basically for most of the month of June. An awesome special where you get 10% off of the bundle die prices. So that's a stamp set and dies together. Anything that's currently available from the annual catalog, as well as some of the online exclusives too that are out there. So those are at an additional 10% off. And then the die cutting machines, which is the Stampin' Cut and Emboss machine and the mini Stampin' Cut and Emboss machine, are both also 10% off. And this is the first time I've seen the full-size machine go on sale ever. So if you've been interested in getting it, now might be a good time. And I talked a little bit already about joining, but demonstrators get the 10% discount on top of our already at least 20% discount on all of our stuff. So just saying, it's a great deal. And then I am doing a little bonus right now for anyone that orders through me through the end of today, which is the 11th of June. You get a free additional gift with your order. So normally when you order $50 or greater, you get a $10 thank you gift from me, and you earn my Running Shoe reward points. Those are my points that you can collect towards free merchandise from me, Stampin' Up! Merchandise. In addition to that, if you order $50 or greater today from me, you are going to get to pick a little die cutting accessory piece. So you can pick adhesive sheets, the mini cutting plates, the standard cutting plates, or the specialty plate. So adhesive sheets turn your little thin die cuts into stickers essentially, which makes them way easier to stick down. Cutting plates, I think, are pretty self-explanatory for the die cutting machines. And then we have the specialty plate, and that is the plate that works perfectly with several die cutting machines, but I know it obviously works in the Stampin' Cut and Emboss machine for the 3D embossing folders. So if you have trouble with those and struggle with those not working well for you, grab one of these plates and it probably will work much better. So anyhow, so again, details are posted on my blog, which is stampwithamyk.com. And then speaking of the online exclusives, a couple flyers. Again, we already talked a little bit that these are available right now for demonstrators to order, and they'll be available starting on the 3rd of July for customers to order. Again, they'll only be in the online store, so these will not be in any catalog. So you can take a look in the online exclusive section of the online store whenever you have a minute and see what's available now. And then starting on July 3rd, you'll see some additional items. So again, this is not all of the upcoming products. This is just a nice sampling of them. There are lots of holiday, Halloween, fall, all kinds of good stuff. So, all right, let me get those papers out of the way and let's get started on the card. All right, so I have got crumb cake card base, and this, I did my top fold card. And this one, actually, it does matter if you put it together the way that I did, because I wrapped the linen thread around the card front. If you use your standard side fold card, you wouldn't be able to wrap the linen thread around it. So if you don't like the linen thread or don't want to do that, you can certainly still use the same design and do the side fold card. You just wouldn't be able to put the linen thread, I almost called it twine, the linen thread around it. If you wanted to do the side fold card, you could maybe figure out a way to wrap the linen thread around it the long way. So anyway, it'll still work, but just not exactly the way I made it. So, but that's up to you. All right, so my card base is 4 1/4 by 11, and then scored at 5 1/2 right here across the middle of the card base. And again, crumb cake is the color that we're doing. And I do, because I love the wood grain papers a lot, I'm trying to conserve my pack of wood grain papers. So normally I would have cut a whole piece and covered the entire card front, but since almost all of the card front was going to be covered anyway by another panel, I cheated and just used little pieces. So saving myself just a little bit of designer series paper. These are, I don't know, they're about 3/4 of an inch. I knew they needed to be bigger than a 1/2 an inch, but didn't need to be a lot bigger than a 1/2 an inch. So I think these are about 3/4 of an inch by 4 1/4. And so these should fit across the very top and the very bottom of my card base. Hopefully I've measured everything correctly. So I'm just going to line it up down here at the bottom and smush it down. And then I'm going to do a little stamp and seal on this piece. And we'll do the same thing at the top. Just flipping it around and lining it up here with my score line. And trying to get it on here straight, fairly even. Before I give it the final smoosh down, I think we're good to go on that. All right, next thing that I did is, did I forget to cut my piece of paper? I totally did. I really thought I had it here. I'm gonna have to make like a quick run and grab my paper and do a little cutting, because I forgot to cut the piece. This is 4 1/4 by 4 1/2, and I even wrote up my tutorial and everything. It's all done. I just totally forgot to cut the paper to have it here ready. Hold on. Okay, phew, sorry. Gosh, of all the things to forget, the main thing to stamp on is not a good one. All right, So let's get started with some stamping. I have got garden green ink, and we are going to ink up, this is the smaller of the two evergreen trees from the Frosted Forest stamp set. And the only thing, this is fairly close in size, so I just want to make sure, yep. So 4.5 here, or I'm sorry, 4.25 here, 4.5 here. So you want it to be a little taller, then you want it to be wider, if that makes sense. And we're just going to kind of randomly stamp some of these little trees here over the card front. And we'll do some that are a little higher, some that are a little lower. We'll stick this one way down here. And we'll go up a little higher with that one. And then we'll do one more over here to the edge. And then I'm going to come back in. The reason I'm going to do some stamped off trees on here, but I don't know how well you can see it. Hopefully you can see it a little bit. But with the way that I inked this, where I was off the edge with most of my stamping at some point, I could have taken this and then gone straight back and it would be a stamped off image. However, I guess you can see it better this way. You can see that half of it is still covered with almost full strength ink. And if you go straight and do your stamping off with that inked image, you're gonna get kind of a funny looking pine tree. So what I did instead was I just inked it up fully with garden green, stamped it on my scrap paper, and then I'm just gonna come over here. And we're basically stamping like a row of trees to make it look sort of like they're a little further off in the distance. Trying to decide how high up to go with that one. We'll do one more, I think, up a little bit higher like that. There we go. And I will close that up and slide it aside. Oh, I'm glad you're here too, Anne. Thanks for hopping in. And you got the set on your wish list. It's a good one. You're going to love it. So, all right, let me get that out of the way. And then I've got blending brushes in Coastal Cabana. And we are going to put a little color on the background of this panel, or on around the top of it, I guess I should say, to make it sort of look like sky or clouds or whatever you want to call it. Just so that it wasn't stark white was the main thing that I wanted. You could also use Pool Party or Balmy Blue, whatever your favorite shade of blue is. I happen to like Coastal Cabana a lot because it's a little darker than Pool Party, so it doesn't take me quite as long to add a nice layer of ink around the edge. Pool Party, sometimes I have to do several inkings to get it to work. All right, so we're going to call that good with Coastal Cabana. I'm going to close that up. Then I'm going to grab my little bird stamp. Again, this is from the Frosted Forest stamp set. And I'm going to take Tuxedo Black Memento ink. And we're going to ink up the little bird. And we're going to stamp them. I don't know. I stamped my trees in different places this time. So I probably, it's not in the exact same place it was on my other card. But that's okay because I stamped my background trees a little differently than I did the first one. And I've got Crumb Cake Stampin' Blends markers. We're going to start with the light. And just going to put color all over the body of the bird and its little wings. There we go. The fastest coloring of the bird ever. And then I'm going to come back in with the dark, add just a little bit of crumb cake to the body and a little bit kind of to the bottom of the wings here. And then I will grab my light crumb cake and just kind of very lightly blend it. Not really doing much of anything because it's so small, you can't really even see it. So there we go. All right, now I'm going to grab, is Garden Green a new stamp color? No, Garden Green has been around for as long as I've been a demonstrator, I think, at least. I think it's been around for like many, many years. That's an old color. So, all right. So I have got a piece of crumb cake cardstock, and this is cut to 4 5/8 by 4 1/4. So it should layer and just peek out the top and the bottom if I've cut everything correctly, which thankfully I did when I ran over frantically cutting my basic white cardstock. So we're going to adhere it with a little Stampin' Seal. And hopefully get it lined up fairly straight and even. I think I've got it there. And give it a little smoosh and make sure it's stuck down well. And then I'm going to go over to my card base. We're going to just put, again, Stampin' Seal on the back of it. Go over to the card base and, again, roughly center it top to bottom. And it doesn't need to be perfect, but I usually try to get it on fairly straight, fairly centered. That's always the goal. Whether I do that or not, sometimes it works better than others. All right, so there we go. We've got that done. Next up, we're gonna grab, oh, no, we need to do our tree next. See, trying to jump ahead. Okay, let me grab the masks. Where did oh, there they are. I couldn't remember where I put them. The only thing with this is, hopefully you can see this is a little tree trunk. The tree top is not way hugely far above it, but you just want to make sure that whatever piece of paper you're working on, like right here is the top of the leaves of the tree. You just want to make sure, obviously, that you're on your paper. So that is the main thing. All right, let me get that put down here. These are the Frosted Forest decorative masks, and hopefully you can see here in the upper left-hand corner, there's a little notch. And I don't know how well you can see it, but I can see it here. There's a little number 1 on this one. So that means that this is the first mask in the set of masks. So we're going to go back here, put it on basic white cardstock, grab pecan pie ink and my blending brush, and I'm going to do a little quick scrub on the edge of the paper here. Just trying not to get too like a big glob of ink. So I usually go to my scrap paper first and then to my project in the hopes that I won't end up with any really dark splotches of ink that I'm not necessarily wanting on the project. When you're using lighter inks, so you don't always have to do that. As the inks get lighter, like I said, if you're using petal pink or something like that, you can probably go straight to your project. But the dark ones, sometimes you get a glob of ink that is not always the look that you're going for. All right, so we're going to call that good with the first mask. Now I'm trying to find a spot to put that so I don't end up sticking my fingers in the ink or sticking the project in it, because yep, that happens too. All right, and then this one, hopefully you can see on here, there's a little number 2 on it. And the little notch is up here in the upper left-hand corner again, so that tells you generally this is where you want your mask to be. It's just helping you to line them up. Then I'm going to grab Granny Apple Green ink, and we are going to ink the leaves in this with this mask. Again, just going to go to the scrap paper first, and then to the project. And this is a light enough ink, you may not necessarily need to go to the scrap paper first, but I don't know, it's been kind of a habit of mine, so I try to keep doing it and keep myself in that same routine so I don't accidentally end up with a glob of ink somewhere. This mask is also, hopefully you can see it on here, it's fairly easy to line up because it covers up the little branches right down in here. So as long as you have those lined up, then you are good to go on the mask. All right, do a little more swirl in here, and I think we'll call that good on that one. And toss that one over here. And then the next color we're going to add is Lemon Lime Twist. And this is the final mask in this little set. Again, it's got the number 3 up here in the corner. Hopefully you can see that. And then the little notch is here as well. And then we are just going to layer it right over the top. And it, like I said, it doesn't layer perfectly. At least it didn't for me. The main thing that I was trying to do was to get that tree trunk covered up to make sure that I wasn't putting ink over the top of that. And then there are a couple little spots like here at the top and down at the bottom that are going to be inked with just the third color that you use. So there'll be some where it'll be layered over the top and some where it's going to be there kind of by itself. So, all right, let me grab a little bit of Lemon Lime Twist ink, and I'm going to scoot it up, I think. I want to make sure that I have it lined up correctly. I think that I do. I think that's where it's supposed to be. So I'm going with it. All right. And because this is the kind of top layer of ink, I went straight to the mask with it because I wanted it to be a little darker. So I'm going to take that off. And there you go. You can see kind of the layered look of the inking. So it's pretty cool. I love these masks. Now the fun part is stamping. Well, first, let me close that before I put my elbow in it, which I just almost did. And then we're going to stamp the actual tree image in pecan pie ink. This is the, again, the outline tree image from the Frosted Forest stamp set. And we're just going to ink it with the pecan pie ink. Make sure it's all covered. And then we are going to stamp it, hopefully right over the top and hopefully straight. And there you go. So that's what you get when you do the masking and the stamping together, which is pretty cool. I like it a lot. It's kind of a good look. I didn't get it stamped quite as straight as my original one, but to me it is close enough. I don't think anybody's going to notice that the tree trunk is a little bit off. Like I said, my original one I stamped perfectly, but when I have the camera in between me and what I'm stamping, it's a little more challenging, but it all works. All right, so let me grab the die here. Again, this is the Frosted Forest dies, and it coordinates with the stamp set. And I'm just going to take this, run it through my die cutting machine, so I'll be off screen for 1 second, and I'll be right back. All right, and there's my little die cut tree. So, oh, it's in your, you're going to love it. It is an awesome stamp set. Love it. And I can't wait to start and do a little layering on the little evergreens in the background, because they actually have a mask that I think will work perfectly for adding like a snow look to the evergreen trees. So can't wait to start playing around with that one too. But I figured I'd start with a little, I'm not quite ready since it's only June. I'm not quite ready to start Christmas cards yet, although I'm tempted to. So, all right, let's get a couple of glue dots here. And we're going to stick glue dots on the back of our little tree die cut. I'm going to stick one more, I think. Come on, let go. There we go. Right in the center. Get those out of the way. And then we're going to take the little tree and we're going to stick it on the card front. The only thing you want to be careful placement-wise is just make sure your branches are on the edge. But other than that, you can stick it wherever you want to on the card front. Now I'm going to grab the linen thread and wrap it around the card front a couple times here. And, oh, yep, looks like I've left enough. I'm almost out of the spool of linen thread, so I've got another one, thankfully. Actually, I have like 5 more. That's one of those things that I try to never run low on because I use linen thread a ton. So I'm tying a little bow here off to the side. So I'm going to make the knot first, which I usually do with the linen threads and baker's twine, the thinner ones. I find that if I tie a little knot first, I can pull it tight and move it around a little on the card front if I need to. And then I can work on the bow part to make it look pretty. But the knot just holds everything in place. So I'm not trying to do this with, you know, feeling like I need 3 or 4 hands to get the bow tied nicely. So, all right, I'm going to pull the ends of the bow a little bit shorter here. And I think we'll snip it off. Hopefully fairly, somewhat straight and even. I don't know if I got it even close to straight, but all right. Next thing we're going to do is, hopefully I have enough space on here. Let me grab my die and make sure, because I might have to do another, I probably will. You know, you all are going to laugh a lot, but you know what I did? This was supposed to be the inside of my card, and this was supposed to be the outside for stamping, so I'd have a little extra space to stamp my sentiment on. And I, in my frantic running over to grab my other piece of paper, I totally messed up and stamped this on the wrong one. So now I need to go trim this down to the inside of the card and grab another piece of paper that actually will fit the sentiment. So once again, I'll be off screen. Hold on. All right. Goodness. Well, I guess some days are like that. Just whatever. All right. Glad y'all are hanging here with me, and I apologize for getting half of the paper I needed. So, all right. Got pecan pie ink, and this is one of the sentiments from the Frosted Forest stamp set. And we're just going to stamp that right here on the basic white cardstock panel. Close that up, and I'm going to grab my little mini pocket envelope dies, and I'm going to grab this die from it, and this is what we're going to die cut the sentiment with. So I will be right back. They do happen, but my goodness, usually I try not to make like 10 of them in one video, and here we are. So, all right. There's my little die cut sentiment. Let me get this out of the way and that out of the way. And we'll grab some of my chopped up. These are my little half Stampin' dimensionals. I do chop mine in half down the middle. If you don't like that, you can use minis instead. But I like the way that these fit a little bit better around things. And I'm trying to make sure that as I put my dimensionals on, they're kind of out towards the edges of my sentiment. And I'm going to pick off the backings. The reason I want it toward the edges of the sentiment is because I'm layering it over the top of my linen thread, so I want to make sure that it doesn't actually end up stuck on top of the linen thread and, you know, giving it a weird lump underneath the sentiment, because nobody likes lumpy sentiments. So, all right, taking that and we're just sticking it here kind of near the tree, between the tree and the bow, wherever you want it to go. There you go. The final thing that I'm adding is a couple of the pecan pie. These are pecan pie and clear ribboned adhesive backed dots. That's a lot of words to say some pretty little gems in pecan pie and clear. So this is what they look like up close. Hopefully you can see there's a little bit of a design, a little bit of a pattern, kind of a almost a zigzaggy looking pattern in them. And they're flat, and they're really, not completely flat, but flat enough you can mail them with one stamp. And they're really pretty and kind of shimmery. And yeah, pecan pie is the color. Of course, I've stuck that. There we go. Oh, fingers are just not working very well today. Sticking that to the card front. And then we're going to do one of the little gems, and we'll stick it next to it. And I think I better stop before I mess anything else up. So, makes you feel better about yourself? I don't know. I'm sure, like I said, I try not to make too many messes in one video, but I don't know. I guess maybe I'll just do them all in this video, and then they'll be perfect from now on. So, all right. We got pecan pie ink. And again, my sentiment is from the Tune In stamp set. We're just going to stamp a simple happy birthday on the inside of it. And I don't know if I said pecan pie ink. And then close that up. And then I've got a little piece of the Country Woods Designer Series paper. I don't know, this is about 3/4 of an inch wide by about 4 inches long that I trimmed off at some point to make something, and, you know, hate to waste any of those little scraps because they decorate the insides of the card perfectly. So I'm going to take that and adhere it to the bottom of my basic white panel. So you could certainly case the card, Marilyn. That's why I make them, is to give you all ideas. Hopefully, I'm glad you like it well enough to case it, so feel free. All the details for this will be posted on my blog tomorrow, which is stampwithamyk.com, and I'll have a printable PDF tutorial out there, as well as some additional pictures and instructions and all that stuff, list of the products that you need to make it, sticking it to the inside with a little Stampin' seal. So all that'll be on my blog tomorrow, and I will link up to the blog post in the description of this video just as soon as it goes live around 8 o'clock in the morning Eastern time, so you'll be able to check out all the details then. So that is it. Again, the bundle is called Frosted Forest, and you should just get it because you're going to love it. So again, it's available for demonstrator pre-order now. Customers will be able to order this beginning on July 3rd. And again, it is one of the online exclusive items, so you'll only find it in the online store. But yeah, you go grab it when it's available. So let me know if you have any questions about anything. I hope you love this bundle as much as I do. I can't wait to play some more with it. So have a wonderful rest of your Tuesday. I'll plan to be live around 2 o'clock Eastern time on Friday here on YouTube. And then next week, Tuesday, I'm actually not going to be going live. My oldest daughter is graduating from high school. I can't even believe it. But and they do graduation on a Monday, and her party's on Tuesday. And so we got some, graduation stuff, family in town and all that sort of thing over the weekend. So I will see you all Friday of this week, again, around 2 o'clock Eastern time, and then next week, Friday, around 2 o'clock Eastern time. So thanks, everybody, for being here. Have a great rest of your day, and we will chat with you all soon.